The night I almost killed Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. Somewhere in time, around 1983 or 84, I dated a gal named Jennifer whose best friend Debbie was dating Steve Harris. One night I get a call from Jennifer asking me if I wanted to go out with Debbie and her boyfriend, not telling me who this boyfriend was. I said sure, and then she asked me if I minded driving. Again, no problem. Well, problem. At the time, I had a 1976 Ford friggin' Pinto. It was the two-door hatchback version. I had bought the car from my friend and workmate at Greenworld distribution Enigma Records, Peter Hoare. He was an Americanized Dutch import and his favorite band was Golden Earring. So on the hatchback window of the classic ride that he sold me was this huge 18-inch round Golden Earring decal which I had yet to remove. So I picked up Jennifer and we headed over to the hotel where Debbie and her boyfriend were at. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was a Sheraton. We go up the elevator to the room and knock on the door. The door opens and it was friggin' Steve Harris. Now I had been around plenty of notable musicians like him before. Hanging out with artists came with my job, so I never really batted an eye at people being rock stars. So on the outside, I think I thought I was keeping it cool, but on the inside, I'm going, this is F***ing Steve Harris, no way. So after introductions were made and a bit of chit-chat, it was decided we were going to go to, you guessed it, the Rainbow Bar and Grill. We head downstairs to my chariot, and I can tell he's trying not to laugh. But then he saw the Golden Earring decal. Oh, he loved that. Turns out they too were his favorite band. So then it happened. Something I believe no one else in this world can ever claim. I drove friggin' Steve Harris to the Rainbow Bar and Grill in my friggin' 1976 Ford Pinto. It does not get any more metal than that. At the Rainbow we had a table, and were soon joined by Alan Fryer and the guys from the band Heaven. Steve would not let me pay for anything. Put that card away. So after a few hours and a very large tab, I was in no condition to drive, and neither were any of us. But being the stupid, immortal youth that I thought I was, I did something I never did before and have never done since. I got behind the wheel. I was parked on Doheny just north of Sunset. I made the U-turn, probably illegally, to go south on Doheny. I tried to make the yellow light before it turned red. My timing was off, obviously, and all of a sudden I hear a car come screeching to halt on my passenger side, the side with Jennifer and Steve. Instinct kicked in, and I ended up slamming on my brakes instead of just continuing. I thank God to this day that guy's car missed me and stopped no more than 2 friggin' inches from mine. I crept forward with my tail between my legs, scared to death. To be honest, I don't remember if anything was said about it amongst us in my car, but I do recall taking side streets to his hotel. I dropped them off, and then I had to get Jennifer home safely to her place in Carson. How I never got spotted or pulled over is beyond me. Oh, after dropping her off, then came the matter of getting my ass home to Torrance. I was scared straight that night. I have never gotten behind the wheel of a car, even after just 1 beer, ever since. The rest of the week was pretty cool. I scored us 4 passes for Robert Plant at the Forum through a label owner I knew whose label we distributed, Stu Green of Rockshire Productions. He owed me a favor or two, and still owes me $20. Luckily, no Pinto was involved that night, as Steve rented a Mercedes for the next few excursions we went on. When we got to the show, we ran into Alan and the guys from Heaven who happened to be there too. They ended up hanging with us for a while, and then Dave Murray showed up not too long after and hung with us too. Earlier in the day, Steve had come by my office and I had given him a tour of our facilities and introduced him around. Before he got there, I had told some of my workmates about hanging out with Steve. Most of them were saying I was full of **T. Well, I saw a few jaws drop when he and the girls came walking in. He left with a nice haul of records. I got comped for him too. He walked out of there with about $150 or more worth of import Iron Maiden 12-inch records and import Golden Earring albums that we distributed. Oh, by the way, he rented a Mercedes for the next few excursions we went on. The last I saw him then, he had hooked me and my pal Henrik up with passes for Iron Maiden's upcoming show at the Long Beach Arena. By the time he and I got backstage after the show, sadly the band had already left the building.